your network is your net worth. Can you tell us more about how that really works? Because most people don't really understand. Well, like, what's the point of going and talking to other people? I'm going to do my work. I'm going to learn this skill. I'm going to study and not pay attention to their network. So tell us more about how network really is maybe the most important thing.
Yeah, so I think that I've realized that more and more the later in life that I've gotten, right? But I was lucky that most of the time in my earlier years I tried to be tried to do the right thing and tried to network and just I guess one thing that I kind of the attitude that I try to keep is just like try to just give, right? Try to give without expectation. It's sort of an attitude. Now, again, like I'm not saying that that's always me, right? I'm not saying that I'm just like this perfect person, but I kind of always try to think about that. Like, how can I give? How can I bring value to somebody else without trying to extract that value back? And um, uh, one thing that really hit me more recently was, and I might have, I don't know if I told Chris this story or not, but I had a situation where, and I'll bring this back to your question, Dimitri, but I had a situation where I have a friend and who I consider kind of a mentor. He's a little older than me, and he's you know he's got to a level of success that like my mind doesn't even allow me to try to dream of, right? Like, I mean, there's people bigger, but like he's just very successful in business and but he's been a very big help to me in a lot of different ways. Um, and so I had a phone call just out of the blue a month or two ago, and he called me and he knew that my daughter, I have a 19-year-old daughter, and she's building a little photography business and some social marketing and things like that. She's doing a great job. Well, he called me and he said, "Hey, I need some help. I'm looking for I need to kind of work on my personal brand because he was looking to raise some money for some things." And he said, I know you might have some contacts for me." But he said, "But also I want to talk to you about Taylor because I know that she's doing some social media and she's doing some video." And he said, I don't know if she's in a position or at the stage of her career to be able to do like what I need, but I'd love to figure out if there's a way for me to find a fit for her. Like if she could, and it would be a good learning opportunity for her." And so again, like he was just and the reason I tell the story is because I told him, I said, it's just incredible that you would think of my kid in that way. And she's obviously not at an agency level to be able to do but if there's some way that she could just piggyback on this. And so, anyway, what he told me is I said, thank you. Like, thanks for thinking of me enough to think of my daughter in that way. Right. And he, he said something that I think stuck with me a lot. And he basically was saying, you know, I consider your past actions, he was just talking about people in general. I consider your past actions as really the reason why you're going to get that future phone call, right? And so, he's like, you've earned the right to receive this phone call through your past actions, value you've added, integrity that you've shown. And like he said, I look at like, do you do you model do you physically model the things that are coming out of your mouth, right? And that I think Dimitri's like the answer to your question is I learned it by accident, but it's like you can't you can't just go extract value from people without maybe providing some value and it might have been in a different way, right? It might not have had anything to do with that, and you might not even know. Like I never thought about it like that, but he's like it, you earn the right for future opportunities based on your past actions is kind of paraphrasing that. And so I think that hit me a lot because I'm like, well, maybe some of the things that I've done in the past are will eventually come to pass, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
makes
then,
sense. Real quick, Chris, I just wanted
yeah,
to
please go
comment on
ahead.
that. Was that I think it's an important call out because networking, the word is kind of a dirty word in the corporate world. It's a guy who's
Mhm.
shaking everybody's hand and what, like, here's what I
Right,
do, here's what you do. Nobody really likes that guy, right? And
right,
he might get some business,
Okay.
but it sounds like Scott, what you're saying is it's actually the human connection and doing what you're saying.